It's time for the 1996 Oscars, movies from 1995. Let's pick the Best Picture winner from the Oscar eligible list. Here you can find it on this site. I use atogt.com, where you get the original in 1995-96, the Oscar eligible movies. And I tend to stick with these picks, although maybe I'll pick something not eligible and break my rules. What would you pick from this list, the 5 nominees for Best Picture, and what would you pick for Best Picture winner? Now, when we look at the original list, my memory is, by the way, that this was a sort of vexed year. It was not a great year for top tier movies, as the previous year was, or the previous year you had Pulp Fiction, Shawshank Redemption, the Red and White in the Red, White, and Blue trilogy, Forrest Gump, a bunch of others, and it feels like, okay, some of those could have been put in this year and won rather easily, but this year I remember Braveheart, it won Best Picture, and Mel Gibson got Best Director, and I remember that coming out early in the year, and this being weird and unusual, because usually Oscar bait, Oscar Best Picture winners, they usually appear later in the year, and are fresher in the minds of the voters when they vote on this category. So indeed, you get Braveheart, Apollo 13, Babe, Il Postino. I didn't remember that being here in Best Picture, and Sense and Sensibility by Ang Lee. And then, as per usual with Best Director, it's nearly the same list. Well, no, okay, they swap 2 out. They keep 3 and swap 2 out. That's actually pretty typical. Mel Gibson, Chris Noonan for Babe, Tim Robbins, the actor, for Dead Man Walking, Mike Figgis for Leaving Las Vegas, and then Michael Radford for Il Postino. So you look at this list and go check out the ratings online for these movies, and you gotta say, this isn't that great a year for top tier movies. As I told you earlier, I think 93 is excellent, 94 is excellent. My bet is that the future years will be, but for the 1990s, this is a pretty weak Best Picture lineup. Frankly, from the movies I saw that were international, again, there's not really something really spectacularly awesome to me. I did my research. I tried to watch all the movies I could find. Maybe I missed something, so correct me if I missed something from this year. But despite the top tier movies not really being here, I found this year was pretty decent overall for a variety of movies, a wide variety in fact, and for some pretty good movies. So here's my list, and this is probably the biggest list I've ever had on here. I'm not sure why. I think I might have been more generous with this year in trying to find a good movie. But I even selected Tier 1 and Tier 2 in the noteworthy list of movies. These are movies I'm not going to put on the Best Picture list, but I want to highlight. And if you're using this video to get recommendations, go mine Tier 1 and Tier 2. And this is, of course, my preference, not yours or anybody else. So I like what I think is good or what I preferred when I watched it. And I don't doubt this video is controversial. I mean, look down there. Heat in Tier 2. A lot of people love this movie for a variety of reasons. Pacino and De Niro getting together and filming a movie together for the first time and having a show-stopping scene, and then the shootout in Heat is great. A lot of people love it. I just don't love the overall plot. I love Casino by Martin Scorsese a lot better. Give me Casino or Heat, I'm going to pick Casino every day because I like the themes, the topics, the way it relates to American history, and on. So I prefer Casino, just so you know. Braveheart has never been my thing either. I'm putting it here just to throw a bone to other people. Of the Tier 2, Nixon is an interesting movie by Oliver Stone. It's out of control sometimes, maybe a little too praiseworthy for Richard Nixon. It's about Richard Nixon for a lot of people. But I point you to Tier 1. Antonia's Line is a movie, I must say, don't agree with some of it in a way, but it is a fascinating movie that won the Best Picture for foreign language, which now they call international movies. City of Lost Children, there's never going to be another movie like that, a weird steampunk children's movie. Die Hard 3 is my favorite Die Hard movie. Okay, it really is. In the Mouth of Madness is one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. It's really good. Go look at it. And then A Little Princess, yeah, I actually like this. It's an Alphonse Cuarón movie, which is really well done. Shallow Grave by Danny Boyle, a nice modern noir. Whisper of the Heart's a Studio Ghibli movie. I could talk about all of these movies because, in a way, when I look at all of them, there's an argument to bump them up to the draft of nominees list for the Best Picture. But let's take a look at that draft. This is where I'm going to select 5 of these, which I haven't already, so I'm going to do this on the fly. 12 Monkeys, one of my favorite Gilliam movies. Enjoyable science fiction movie. that riffs on La Jetée by Chris Marker from the 60s, what goes way beyond it. I really like Apollo 13. Very tempted to pick that one here because, in a way, it's a science fiction movie, even though it's a historical drama, and it's really well done. The Babe movie is good. I've always loved it, but the sequel has my heart. So while I like Babe, I know what happens in the sequel, Babe, Pig in the City, and so I prefer that. And so it's hard for me to pick Babe as the Academy did. Frankly, that's a problem here for me because when I think about all of these movies, I think what came later. So Before Sunrise, that was by itself here, but now it's part of a trilogy, like a first third of a big storyline, and so then it's hard to sort out Before Sunrise as an individual work with the other movies in the Before trilogy sort of now attached to it. I mentioned Casino, and then for some reason alphabetical order jumps from C to S. I have no idea why. Safe. I have covered Safe on this channel. Julianne Moore, a woman who thinks she's got some kind of degenerative disease, but picked up from pollution, the modern world, city dwelling. It's a mystery illness. Really fascinating topic, in my opinion. Go check out my video on that. The Secret of Rowan and Nish, a very good kids movie. Director John Sayles, kind of a change of pace for him. It's more of a fantasy movie, obviously. It's an Irish myth rather than one of those historical dramas he'd been doing for the last maybe 10 years prior to this. Seven. It's so gritty. The ending. I don't really want to rewatch Seven. In fact, I don't know if I like it that much, but I'm putting it on here because when I remember watching it when it came out, like, whoa, this is really. First of all, it was really awesome. A lot of the dorm bros in college at that time, like, this is an amazing movie. The ending, the twist, and so on and so forth. And to me, Seven introduced personal opinion here, introduced me to noirs. I didn't know what that was in 1995 or 96, whenever that was. What the heck is that? And this gave me the entire flavor of that, which a genre, or excuse me, style or mode of movie I've come to love absolutely. Toy Story, classic. Everybody still knows that. First Pixar movie, animated 3D movies coming into their own. A Walk in the Clouds is a great romantic movie. Okay, with my wife, we love it. She loves it, so I'm putting it on here along with Sense and Sensibility, just to. I think I owe her one here, owe her a bunch. So these are two pretty good movies in my opinion. And I'm not skipping over Underground. Underground is an amazing movie. A critique of communism. The backdrop is Yugoslavia, the history of it in the 20th century. Now Serbia, there were wars at this time with Serbia and Croatia and all that. So this movie has a lot to say, and it's got one of the more fascinating plots, which is that there is an underground colony in Serbia that has been duped or tricked into believing that World War II is still going on. During World War II, all these people flee underground, and then many of them remain there and for years, for decades, believe that World War II is still going on. I love that premise, but then the music in this is fascinating with a marching band diegetically within the scene. This might be the best movie of the year. I must say that, because even if I don't pick it, I think everyone needs to go check it out who watches this channel. All right, here are my 5 nominees. In truth, I have no idea how to whittle this down. In fact, if you ask me tomorrow, it'd probably be 3 or 4 different ones in here that it would sub out, just so you know. So I'm putting Toy Story in here. Part of that is what came later. This is not probably a great way to vote, but what came later, it's Pixar 3D animation, and it set the tone for that. Truthfully, my heart, along with Babe, Pig in the City, the Babe sequel, my heart is with Toy Story 2, which is my favorite Toy Story movie. But I appreciate this one. Maybe it looks dated now. Okay, that's probably its problem, but I'm going to put it here anyway, just to sort of honor early Pixar, because I don't think I'm going to, when I do this list for future years, I don't think Pixar's going to show up here. Maybe it's going to be until WALL-E or Ratatouille when it does. Casino, I think I'm going to put Casino here. I think that's an excellent, thoughtful movie. Now, is it Scorsese's best? I think it suffers by the contrast principle, which is if there's another movie that's better nearby it, or in contrast to it in the director's filmography, or year-wise close to it, then it's not seen as good. And I think people would go, okay, Goodfellas, way superior to Casino, and thus Casino suffers because of that. But look, I saw a lot of those Casino movies, or Las Vegas movies, Bugsy, for example. Okay, so I think Casino is really, really well done and deserves to be here for sure. Underground, as I said, I'd probably pick it. If I were trying to not care about the Oscar rules and go with voting at the time, I'd pick it for sure, but it's not eligible. And it's not just super great enough for me to violate my rules. I guess that leaves Apollo 13 and Safe. For my wife's sake, I should pick Sense and Sensibility. I'm going to give her a vote and say that's what it should be, okay? Just so you know. I almost feel like picking Sense and Sensibility, rewarding them for that movie. But the Best Picture is going to go to...
Best Picture is presented to...
I'm going to do Apollo 13. I don't feel good about this. I feel bad, in fact. Safe on a different day would get it. Yet if I do Apollo 13 and Safe, I think about the previous year, which I was very vexed over. I should bring Shawshank Redemption from that year and put it in this year and give it the Best Picture. So I feel like this is going to be Apollo 13, or if I pick Safe, really, really good movies, or rewatchable, fascinating to me. I don't think they're like Godfather 2 level movies, but I think they're worthy of it. But in comparison to other Oscar winners in the 90s, I think these are going to pale. Apollo 13 will pale in comparison. I say that and I'm hesitating. So just so you know, I really like this movie and I think it's good. But in most years, to be succinct, it wouldn't probably win Best Picture. However, the worst Oscar winner I can pick in this entire series is going to be better than the average Oscar winner that the voters picked. Of course, it's my opinion saying that, but I believe that definitely to be the case. Now, Safe was a hair from winning here. It's which one would I want to rewatch? Which one would I want to watch every 2 years? Which could I enjoy the most? It's definitely Apollo 13. Which could I connect to most real-world topics and might live on and on for a while? It might be Safe. So everybody needs, watching this video, to go check that one out and see if that's something you'll watch, because I can't promote it enough right now. It's a really good movie. But Apollo 13 will take me on the ride, the historical drama of the Apollo mission that's gone wrong. And here you got Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon, Bill Paxton. Great charismatic acting all around, highly dramatic, and fascinating, even though you know what's going to happen if you know the historical story. But I really enjoy this movie, as I said. I can show it to my kids. It's sort of kind of a family movie. And to me, this is a great Hollywood movie, period. Well, the question is, what the heck do you think? What do you think should win out of this? And tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me what I missed. Tell me what I didn't watch. But check out ATOGT, because that's Oscar eligible. It's very unclear sometimes when movies were they released during festivals. Really, they came out the next year, so beware of that problem. And check out that list on ATOGT so you can see what you would pick. As if you were an Oscar voter back in 1995, 96, what would you have picked? Please check out my other videos in the series. I started in 1981, gone all the way up to this year. It's been a ton of work, watched a lot of movies, and tried my best to give you sound recommendations. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to this channel for more great content. Have a great day.